What's going on, good people? It's your boy Trouble T Roy, getkickswholesale@gmail.com. GETKICKZWHOLESALE@gmail.com. Let me get this gum out of my mouth so I can speak like I got some sense. Real quick, I just wanted to chime in because, again, it seemed like this whole sneaker YouTube or sneaker game is in a tizzy about real versus fake, and I can see why. Again, because it's a lot of double speak and lies, and all of a sudden now it went from again, if your pair aren't retail and they don't come from an authorized dealer, then they're fake. Then it went to everybody has fakes in their collections. Even after the question was asked, well, are all of your pairs retail? And the answer was yes. And then on the flip side now, well, everybody has fakes in their collection. Again, just makes a lot of these big name sneaker YouTubers have no credibility now. It's funny because now I won't even do a video responding to some of their shenanigans because it's not worth it. You're obviously caught in a lie. Now, the key thing is, when someone speaks a doctrine that you firmly believe, even when it's opinionated, you're going to agree with that individual. You're not going to want to acknowledge the truth or real information because the real information goes against what you've been realizing or what you've been reading or taught for so long. So, again, you only agree, a lot of people only agree to the doctrine that you know, people share with them, sometimes because they have a huge following. So they feel like, well, this person has a lot of people following them, so what they say has to be true, or the kicks they have they gotta be getting them from somewhere retail, and they gotta be legit. They can't be coming from wholesalers, and so on and so forth. So I got some notes because I wanted to chime in on this video that the dude Unbreakable Kicks, and I think the other brother was like a comedian from Chicago, did. And there was some right things and there was some wrong things. And I'm here to go over sneaker fact versus fiction. Of course, this isn't going to be loved or liked that much. Everything that I'm going to say can be proven. It's public information. See, my thing is this. I always challenge people to prove something, but they never do. They always ignore some of the things that I'm about to mention. So I'm going to put it out there again, and see if it gets ignored again. See, the difficult questions that lead to truth, nobody wants to answer, or nobody wants anything to do with. So we're going to get started. So pardon me if you see me looking sideways, because I actually have notes, or down rather, because I actually have notes and pointers that I want to touch base on that's important. Let's start. Number one, the brands never ever endorse selling early pair. In that video, I heard a comment made, or saw a comment that was written at the bottom of the video where they were talking about how it was a little debate going on about how the brands never sell pairs early and how retail stores never have pairs like 3 to 6 months in advance. Excuse me. That is correct. They don't have them that early. Mostly, for those of you that worked retail and know when you guys get shipments in, like at Foot Locker and stuff like that, the furthest out you've probably seen is maybe a month, sometimes just a couple of weeks before the shoe is released. Not 3 months early, 4 months early, 2 months early, 6, a year. No, that's not how that works. They never endorse releasing early pair. We're also going to talk about some of this backdooring nonsense too. So for those of them that supposedly backdoor and they get early pair 3 months in advance from backdooring, that's a bold-faced lie, because the stores don't even have them. That's real. You can find out for yourself. You can go to your local Foot Locker, Finish Line, Champs, Athlete's Foot, Kicks USA, whatever, and you can talk to an associate, not a manager or anything like that. An associate can tell you that. Okay? So if they're backdooring pair and these pairs are 3 months early, guess what? They have a wholesaler. That's as real as it gets. So yeah, people that have early pair, they didn't get them from the brands. The brands even tell the stars, certain NBA players, things like that, they'll get them early pairs, but they'll tell them hold off rocking these or wearing these in public until this date. This is fact. Again, look it up if you don't believe me. Okay? So everything that I'm giving you today, that I'm going to share with you to debunk a lot of these simpletons out here on sneaker YouTube, is fact. It's going to be information that you can actually research. Let me see. What else? Back to early pair. So likely if you see early pair more than a month out, it's a wholesaler. I don't care what nobody says. It's a wholesaler. If you see it more than a month out, it's a wholesaler. So all these early release alerts that you see cats doing on YouTube, hey, you see the brands don't really fool with them like that. You don't see the brands like again, for certain brands, for a lot of these cats that have big followers or a huge number of followers, they could help the brands get stuff out there based off of their following. Why do you think the brands don't mess with them like that? And the ones that the brands do, you see it. You see Fomer Simpson. You see Jacques Slade. You see Seth Fowler. You see who the brands really deal with. So for those of you that don't want to believe and want to turn your face or pull the wool over your eyes, feel free. Again, the truth is going to stand in the end. So that's another fact right there about early release pairs. So I figured I would debunk that. Also too, no one knows, like, of course people don't want to give up their connect or their quote unquote plug. Those people are nothing but a middleman. Okay? Those that don't tell you who their connect is, they don't have to tell you. I understand in business, you know, certain things you keep secret. It can mess up your sales and your volume. But here's the thing. They don't have a Nike Connect. They don't have an Adidas Connect. It's a wholesaler, people. They're the middleman. They get it from a wholesaler, or the person they get it from is a middleman that gives it to them. And that middleman that they get it from gets it from a wholesaler. 95% of the time. 5% of the time you got cats that's actually backdooring. And we're going to talk about that, because backdooring limited pairs is not a very easy thing to do. And it doesn't make any sense. But we'll get to that. I'm jumping the gun a little bit. So, matter of fact, I'll jump into it right now. So all these limited pairs that you see out here that are being backdoored, it makes no sense. The numbers don't add up. Here's what I mean by that. Look at the number of limited pairs that get released. And if you haven't, check out the dude Pino E's channel. He normally says when a shoe comes out, he tells you if it's limited or it's GR. The ones that are mentioned, or that he mentions that are limited, think about it, right? How are so many pair in rotation or in production? Number one, regular stores aren't really getting these limited pair. As you see, if you look at Pino E's videos with limited pair, you see certain Foot Lockers in certain areas get these pair. Right? Likely stores, let's go back to this because nobody answers this part. This is one of the things that nobody answers. Those stores with tier 0 accounts. What is a tier 0 account? A tier 0 account with Nike is the store that gets the limited items. Everybody don't get limited items. When you first start out, or if you're authorized with Nike or Jordan brand, they have you start selling the mess first, like Jordan runners, Jordan trainers. You get very little numbered Jordans unless it's an extremely general release. Tier 0 accounts, they get all the limited stuff. You see what I'm saying? People ain't backdooring from these stores like that. And if they are backdooring, it's very few. So those that say they're backdooring and they pull up with these limited pair and it's a whole bunch of them, something's a little shaky with that. Come on, y'all. Use your common sense. There's something on my lip there. I think it's great. But use your common sense. limited pair that your local Foot Lockers and Finish Line didn't get because, number one, they're not tier 0 accounts. But this cat, that's the quote unquote plug, has a whole bunch. And like I say, tier 0 accounts, you're not backdooring like that. Not happening. Super strict. And if you got to know the highest of the highest, and everybody out here that's selling don't know the highest of the highest in that industry or that arena. Trust and believe that. They do not. So think about that. Think about it. They say they're backdooring, but these certain amount of pairs that were made, tier 0 accounts got majority of these pairs. But then you find a guy that's the plug in your area that has a whole bunch of these. Where's he getting them? Wholesaler. Direct from overseas, from China. And for y'all dummies that say if the shoes come from China, they're fake, I have to just call a spade a spade. You're an idiot. You know why? Because, again, like 98% of shoes are made in China. Almost everything we use is made in China. Look at the tongue of your sneakers that you got from Foot Locker. If you're not convinced, look at the tongue. Where does it say it's made from? I don't care if it's a Reebok, Adidas, a Jordan. Where does it say? Flip that tongue up. What does it say? All right, so we'll end that part there. All right. Oh, brands and stores that are authorized by the brands will always sell at retail price. Always. If you go into a Foot Locker store, it's a Jordan for $190, right? Say a Jordan 13 for $190. Guess how much they're going to scan and sell that shoe to you for? $190. Okay? It's called suggested retail price. I have never in my life seen an authorized retailer sell for more than retail, even if it's backdoored and they have to keep an inventory count. If they're really backdooring like that, they have to scan it. They would have to, for the numbers to go in correctly. That's reported on the reports for the sales, people. But they still have to sell them to whatever individual that's quote unquote backdooring for retail price. They will not sell for retail ever. And think about this with the backdooring. If one store is going crazy backdooring and people go to that store to get this shoe, don't you think at some point somebody's going to say something if it happens all the time? Like, hey, this store never has these Jordans in stock. And I was looking up the releases and stuff, and it said this store would have them. I called this store. It said this store will have them, but when I get there, they never have them in stock, or it's always a problem with the truck or the shipment. If that happened all the time, like these cats are telling you how they backdoor all the time, even if it's from multiple stores and they do it consistently, the alarm is going to be rang. That's a red flag. A Nike rep is coming out to that store at some point to see what's going on, so it don't happen all the time. They're flat out lying to you. A lot of them have a wholesaler. It is what it is, folks. So y'all ain't gonna like this video, man, because I'm going all the way in. Next, also, these so-called vids of people proving they're backdooring. Why are they general release pair, number one, and they're never limited pair when they show these videos of them copping back, like doing their backdoor thing? And why are these videos hella edited? For those that do videos or familiar with video and video editing, these videos are extremely edited. Why? Don't believe everything you see. It's a saying out there that says, believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. I'm telling you. How come the footage is edited? I'm not saying that, of course, nobody, if you're selling and you're doing this as a business and you're making money, no, you're not obligated to give up who you get your shoes for. But when you're trying to prove like who you get your shoes from because somebody challenged you, number one, I find an issue with that in itself, because if you're doing the right thing and everything's so legit, you don't have to prove yourself to nobody. So what are you doing proving yourself? That means somebody hit a soft spot in your heart Somebody hit a soft spot in your gentle, tender heart with the truth. So now you got to try to cover everything up and do stuff to make it feel like you're legit. Or you have to cover up the lie that you put out there publicly by trying to prove. And the whole time, if you really pay attention to this, nobody's proving anything. Everything that's backdoor was general release pair that you can walk into a store and probably get today. Okay? Ain't nobody going to no tier 0 stores and backdooring like that, man. Don't believe none of that baloney. It's nonsense. It's mess. All right? Another fact. Real versus fake is obvious. What the difference is and how people determine real versus fake is what they feel in their opinionated mind. I'll explain. People say that if you get the shoes direct from manufacturer, the factories that Adidas, Nike, Saucony, Reebok, whomever, Jordan, whoever creates for them that year, because it's a list of factories that they utilize that's out there. I don't have that list, but I've seen it. I've had it before. And sometimes from year to year, the factories change. They don't always use the same factories, and all of the shoes aren't made in the same factories. You may have factories that specialize in Foamposites and Air Max. Then you may have factories that specialize in like Pippins, your basket, your Kyries, your LeBrons. Then you'll have factories that specialize in Jordan brand, things like that. So every shoe isn't made in every factory. It's multiple factories, and again, it's a list. And sometimes from year to year, Nike contracts or the brands contract with different factories. It's not always the same factory. And they may go back to a factory that they worked with before. That next year. One year they may not work with them. The next year they may work with them. So back to what I was saying. People's opinionated reasoning of real versus fake is because they say if you get them direct from manufacturer, as you've seen in the Tony D video, what he had the two videos where one he was confident, and then the second all this stuttering and double speak happened. All right, so people say that if you get them direct from manufacturer, even if it's a Nike shoe producing company or Adidas shoe producing company has contracted with the brands, that it's fake. Okay, so guess what that technically is? That's technically backdooring, but just wholesale. So technically, since you can't get a Jordan brand account or a Nike account and you're going to an authorized retailer to backdoor, isn't that illegal? Wouldn't that null and void the authenticity of the shoe since we're going here? Wouldn't that make it a fake shoe at that point? Because guess what? You're not authorized with the brand, even though you got the pairs backdoored from an authorized retailer illegally. Because guess what? If the brands find out they're doing that, it's a wrap. It's illegal. So what makes you better? If you're backdooring, what makes you better than the people that's doing it wholesale? Or your point in proving what you do is more valid or your shoes are more real than a factory that produces for the brands? Food for thought. Of course, no one's going to answer that. I bet. None of the big name YouTube, they're not going to acknowledge nothing I say, because again, it hits them right in their little tender, gentle, small heart. Their soft heart. It's like one of them squeezy toys that you give to your dog that squeak. They're not going to address that. Okay. So yeah. So that's the determination. People use that determination for real versus fake. Oh, you got it direct from manufacturer. Fake. Because it's unauthorized. Fake. Not because the materials and stuff in the shoe is just horribly made. Not that. That's a lot of people, majority of the sneaker community out here, that's their definition of fake. And also that definition of fake is used, again, to push sales to those specifically who say they get all of their stuff from an authentic source. It's monopolization at its finest. If the majority or if people that have a big following call something fake, don't you think their following is going to support that? It's their following. So what does that do? That means they can't have fake. So their following and everybody else is going to go to them because they're really the source for the authentic shoes. Think about it. It's not rocket science, people. It's not rocket science. So, we talked about retail price. We talked about the limited pairs that's getting backdoored from stores that don't have tier 0 accounts. What else? Oh, we're still on real versus fake. Real versus fake is obvious. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. Like, you can tell a B grade from an authentic because of the flaws in the shoe. Real versus fake is obvious. It's not these biased opinions that people are telling you. Don't believe the hype. Like public. Don't believe the hype. Some of y'all too young to know that song, but don't believe the hype on that. Real versus fake is extremely obvious. Don't be because of the you can't replace laces on a shoe. Fake because of shoelaces. Come on, spare me. Okay, so I'll get the real laces and put them in the shoe. Make some real. Yo, it's so stupid. Like the plastic thingy that's shot. If you ever go to a retail store, work retail, that's the tagging gun that shoots out the plastic loop ties that the laces come on. Oh, if it's on the left side, you got to question that because it's fake. Well, how about I cut it, loop it to the right side, makes it authentic, huh? Isn't that crazy how easy it is to make a shoe authentic? These cats are driving you to them for sales. They're making you believe that they're really the ones or the only ones that have authentic stuff. Stop buying it. Stop believing the nonsense. All right? Let's see. Or these fake authenticators that have no certification or nothing. Y'all believe someone's opinion and run with it because they work in a flight club or stadium goods. Like, come on, man. Or soul supremacy. Because they work there. So you just... I saw an ad on Craigslist for a sneaker company that's not a business. It's somebody that's reselling. Looking for authenticators. No one asking for any certification. Just, hey, do you know shoes? Do you like fashion? That's literally how the ad went. Do you like wearing sneakers? Are you a sneakerhead? Come be one of our authenticators. What? A Craigslist ad? That's how easy it is. Guess what? Again, I've done this before in a video. Everybody watching, you now are all authenticators. I certify you as authenticators right now. That's how easy it is to become an authenticator. But I'm going to bust out with something. I'm going to do an interview. It's coming up the pike with somebody from a company that does this thing for real. It's going to blow your mind, man. A lot of y'all, it's going to turn the sneaker game on its head. I promise you. So, yeah, 95% of people out here, man, that's copping with these limited pair. That's the key. General release, you can backdoor. I'm pretty sure it's easy to backdoor a general release pair. And also, too, cats that's not authorized with the brands, they're getting them wholesale. Trust me. Majority of them are getting them wholesale. All you got to do is go on Nike Chat. I showed y'all the secret at the end of the last video. Go to Nike Chat. Ask about these stores. They can look up whether they're authorized dealers or not. Go to Adidas Chat. Go to Champs Chat. Email Champs and see if these YouTubers are really, really getting stuff from Champs to review early. Keyword, early. Come on. They can't prove otherwise. Everything that I'm stating to you can be proven. Again, is public information. People, I'm not going to keep saying it. As you can see, the sneaker game on YouTube is in a tizzy. Nobody knows what real versus fake is right now. Am I the cause of that? No, I'm not saying that. Did I contribute to some of it? Absolutely. Because I'm putting out information that's not debatable. You can't debate facts. You can only debate what's opinionated. But it's your boy, Trouble T Roy. GetKicksWholesale@gmail.com. Keep in mind, I still got the sneaker information stuff for sale. The PDFs, the eBay algorithm. Very potent information for you if you're looking to try to sell and to get out of the web of resellers that try to monopolize and say you can't do what you're going to do. It teaches you ways around that. It teaches how to make selling for you easy. You know, so that's all I got to say, folks. I'm out. Peace.